3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
What's up guys, Coach Dan here from Radix Gym and welcome to the Radix Gym YouTube channel. Today is Thursday and it's my active recovery day, so I'm going to take you through all my favorite things I like to do on active recovery day to get the most out of it and make sure I'm ready to train hard for the rest of the week. So today I have a 5-step process of the 5 things I like to do on active recovery day. We're going to start off by doing a little bit of blood flow work. So we're going to get on or back on to the Echo bike again for the millionth time. We're going to ride nice and long but nice and slow, get some blood flow going, get some nutrients into our system. Then from there we're going to do step 2, which is myofascial release, where I'm going to take some lacrosse balls, foam rollers, different instruments like that to relax and release tense and tight muscles all through my body. Step 3, we're going to go through a mobility program, some stretching, some dynamic, some passive movements to allow our joints to move through a better range of motion to make sure we're ready again for tomorrow. Step 4, we're going to do some contrast therapy where you're going to go into my office and you're going to see how I use my sauna and my ice tub. And then finally, step 5 is some breathing techniques to help our nervous system relax and get in that recovery state so that Friday we can hit the workouts hard and fast right into the weekend before our real rest day on Sunday where we do absolutely nothing. So we're gonna go in the gym here and I'm gonna kind of show you each part of the recovery day and how we go through that. We'll go over to the turf here. This is where I do all my mobility work. Somewhere soft that's not too hard on these old bones. So I spend a lot of time on the turf here during my warm-ups and during my mobility sessions. I get a lot of different instruments and stuff out to make sure that I'm getting the most out of what I'm doing and making sure that each part of my body is moving in the positions that it needs to move in, so that when I go back to working out hard, everything's moving and feeling like it should. I don't feel super stiff or super sore after 3 hard days of training. So to me, it's super important that midweek I have that active recovery session. Otherwise, what's gonna happen if I train hard Monday through Wednesday and I try to train hard again on Thursday and then right through the weekend, my body just gets too beat up, too run down. I end up injured, or even one of the worst things, honestly, is mentally fatigued, where I just don't want to train. So this kind of midweek reset helps me train hard on Friday and Saturday again before going into a rest day on Sunday and repeating the process. That way I can work out 6 to 8 weeks at a time without having to take a super long amount of time off in between. And the more consistent you are, the more you're going to get out of all your training. And that's what we're looking for, is to be able to train consistently long term to get the adaptation we're looking for and to get better and better and better. Step 1 is going to be getting on the bike and getting just some blood flow through the system. So we'll go over, I'll show you the Echo bike. If you guys have watched my day in the life documentary, I did 12 hours on this bike. And you know what? I'm not scarred, so we're gonna head back on it. I love this bike. So this is my baby right here. We've spent probably 100 hours, maybe more, on this thing, getting ready. You can see all my stickers and everything. But on active recovery days, I hop on here, and for half an hour, I just move at a light pace. It should be no more than a zone 2 heart rate, which is something where you can ride this bike and have a conversation like we're having right now. That's the perfect kind of speed that you're looking at, and we're just looking at creating blood flow. Another reason why I like this bike is because it's very easy to sit and maintain for 30 minutes without exerting too much energy or effort. Whereas if I was gonna go for a jog or be on the rower for a longer period, it takes a little more effort. I want it to be easy. It should be easy. It's active recovery, but look, all my joints are moving here and I'm bringing blood flow to those joints and to the muscles, and blood flow brings nutrients. Nutrients brings healing. So this is the way I start my active recovery day. 30 minutes is good. You can go up to an hour if you're feeling it. Maybe you get a little bit of sweat, but again, I can be on here and talking to you the whole time. Step 2, we'll head back over to the turf. I'm gonna grab a foam roller and a lacrosse ball for this step. So if I have time, I will go through feet right to the top of my body, traps, neck, everything. If I don't, then I triage. By triaging, I mean I pick the most important things, which are the things that are the most tight. So if it's been a hard week on my quads or my glutes or my triceps, and I can feel that they're either A, sore or something's not feeling right, I'll spend more time hanging out in those areas. If I have time, I'll start right from the bottom of my feet, something like take the foam roller and the lacrosse ball, and I just massage out the bottom of my foot. And I'll spend a good minute and a half trying to release any tension through here. And then I'll make my way up, feet, calves, hamstrings, quads. I'll use the foam roller on my quads. I like the ball for my hamstrings, and I'll work right up, glutes, hip flexors, even psoas. I have a special psoas releaser that I get in there. Biceps, triceps, chest, lats, traps. We'll do a whole video on mobility and my favorite mobility exercises, but I spend a good 30 to 45 minutes just kind of releasing global tension throughout my body, and especially in the spots that are feeling extra sore or tight. So that's step 2 of the process. Step 3 is I go through a full body mobility routine. It's the same idea as the myofascial release, is that I'm gonna pick the places that I'm having the most trouble with that week and spend more time in them. If I have enough time, I'll go through everything again. And I love having the time to do that stuff, but sometimes that's just not realistic. So some days it might be, I might spend a little more time on my hips. Sometimes it's my T-spine. It just depends on what I'm feeling and what I've done that week where I really need to get into it. So mobility stuff can be dynamic, it can be passive, you can work through different modalities depending on what you're looking to do. So for instance, if I'm trying to get my hamstrings loosened up, I might go through something called an ostrich walk to start off, where I'm just pulsing in and out of lengthening my hamstrings and bringing some new length into them in a more dynamic fashion. After I'm done that, I can spend a little time in a more passive stretch where I can do something like getting my foot up, chest up, hips back, and I can just hang out in this position here in a lengthened position in my hamstring and just hang out for 90 seconds to 2 minutes as that gets to loosen up and stretch out. Again, I'm gonna spend a half an hour to 45 minutes kind of working on my mobility, stretching, picking the areas that need the most amount of help first, and then finishing off just with some extra stuff, like problematic areas that I'm always globally tight in, or for instance, my T-spine could always use a little work, so then I'll spend more time working on those problematic areas. From there, your body's gonna start to feel really good, to be honest with you. Once I've gone through my biking, my myofascial release, and my stretching, I start to feel like, oh, I'm like a new person again. Mentally, I know I don't have to work out hard today, so that's also kind of just gives you a little bit of relaxation. You're not feeling like, oh, you know, you have to get hyped up or amped up for a workout. And I'm just starting to build myself to get ready for 2 more hard days of training, both mentally and physically being prepared for that. Yeah, do not start with a hard foam roller. This thing, if you've never stuck anything in your quads or got a hard quad massage before will feel like death. So get a really soft foam roller and start there and work your way up. Otherwise, I don't think you'll be able to handle the feeling that you'll get out of it. It shouldn't feel like death. It should feel like a bit uncomfortable. Same with stretching. Kelly Starrett, Dr. Kelly Starrett had a really good saying that you shouldn't be making a pain face while you're stretching. So if it gets to the point where you're like, then you're pushing it a little bit too far. You're ripping too many muscle fibers apart. So it can feel uncomfortable, but it shouldn't feel like you're hurting yourself. So it's finding that kind of that balance of good stretch, but not pushing too far. And the more you do it, the better you become, and the more you become aware of your body and what it needs. It's a process, like anything. The more consistent you are, the more you'll get out of it. I'll show you one of my favorites here. This again, I got this one from Kelly Starrett as well. Yeah, he's got an awesome book called Supple Leopard. I think there's 2 versions of it, but it's called the couch stretch. So you can do this at home and just pretend this is a couch. I like to have something here just so I can relax a little bit more into it and give myself some balance. So this is for the front of your quad and into your hip. You put the top of your foot on the couch or the soft box like this. You bring your knee down onto a soft pad. I use something to give me some balance, and then I focus on squaring out my hips and then pushing my hips forward, and then I'm getting a really nice stretch to the front here. And I just hang out for 90 seconds to 2 minutes and just try to let this muscle relax and stretch. We spend so much time sitting these days and we don't move enough. So these muscles in the front of our legs here become super short from sitting in cars, sitting at desks, kind of all day long, that if we lose the ability to have proper range of motion in the hip, and then we also lose the ability to use our glutes properly and they become very inactive. So even with this, I can squeeze my glute on this side, activate the glute. As soon as I do that, my hip comes to extension and I get more of a stretch to the hip. So I just love this stretch, so good. I do this one all the time because I got tight quads. Make sure that I do both sides so that I don't have one side looser than the other. The other thing I noticed that if you have knee problems, a lot of times it just comes from having too much tension through the quad hip and it's just pulling on the knee. So if you can keep these guys happy, your knees will feel better. Your squat will look a heck of a lot better as well. And you'll just get so much more out of your legs. The more range of motion we can move through, the more gains, bro. By gains, I mean bigger muscles or stronger lifts. So again, about 90 seconds to 2 minutes per side, we'll do the trick. And this is one of my favorite ones right here. After that, I get here at 5 a.m. I start that whole routine at 5 a.m. so that by the time 6:30 rolls around, I can, work with a client or, just be available in the gym for people. Sometime around midday, I'll go into step 4. Step 4 is some contrast therapy of hot and cold. So if you come with me to my office, I'll show you my special little area in there. All right, so don't judge my office by what it looks like right now. We're in a renovation process. It's gonna look super cool when we're done, but for now, it's just storing a bunch of stuff, okay? But 2 really important things that I use pretty much every day, sometimes 6 days a week instead of 7, but mostly 7 days a week, is my sauna and my cold tub. So I love contrast therapy. There's a lot of good research on contrast therapy and bringing blood flow, and again, there's going to be like a list of things that we could throw up on the screen of benefits. But for me, it helps reduce inflammation. It helps me feel better. It gives me a chance in the sauna to relax and sweat without having to exert energy. And on top of that, there's all these benefits as far as like longevity and health that just go deeper and longer than I can explain right now. But I will spend 30 minutes in the sauna, as hot as I can get it. I'll sweat, I'll relax. I'll just focus on just being present in the moment and enjoying the fact that I don't have screaming children or clients or anybody bugging me in the moment. Rach is really good at just letting me hang out in there for half an hour. After I hop out of there, this tub I'll turn on in the morning. We'll get it down to 3 degrees Celsius, and I'll go from 170 degrees into a 3 degrees. So now we're getting all this blood kind of pumping in and then out of my body and muscles. And then as I get out of the cold tub, blood flow back in again, which is just, again, bringing nutrients and making my body just come alive and feel really good. So 30 minutes at 170 into 5 minutes at 3 degrees Celsius, and it's cold. I've done it for like a year and a half now, so I don't get that initial shock as much anymore. I do feel like, oh, this is an extreme temperature change. But initially when I would get in there, it was like and I couldn't breathe, and I'm like a little bit of shaking. Now I know the process. I sit down, I get the water, like hands, feet, whole body immersed right up to my neck, and I just try to relax as much as possible. After the first 30 seconds, you kind of numb out a bit, and you just hang out. Sometimes I'll the reason this chair is up here right now, I'll throw my phone on with a YouTube video and just kind of watch other people work out or something. So yeah, I do the contrast therapy, 30 minutes hot, 5 minutes cold. It's always good to do the hot first, cold second. That's the best way to do it. And then I'll grab a shower after that. And I will, actually, you know what? The cold therapy, especially something so cold in the ice bath, releases, I think, 3 times more dopamine into your system. And you feel so good afterwards. Mentally, I feel more clear. I feel more motivated. I'm just ready to attack the rest of the day. The reason I like to do this in the middle of the day is because most people get that afternoon kind of slump where they kind of get a little bit tired. They don't want to work as hard anymore. And this kind of just, boom, picks me right back up. I'm ready to get in the rest of my day and just be motivated and get a lot done. And that's what I'm looking for. So I do that. And that would be step 4 of my active recovery day process. And then finally, step 5, I will find a kind of a dark place. Typically in here, again, I'll close the doors, I'll shut off the lights, and then I will just go into some breathing techniques that will allow my nervous system, my heart rate to come down, for me to just zone out of all my problems and all my stress and finish kind of the recovery process for me. 2 things I like to do. One is box breathing. Box breathing, you're going to take 3 to 4 seconds to take a deep breath in. You're going to hold for 3 to 4 seconds. You're going to breathe out for 3 to 4 seconds. You're going to hold for 3 to 4 seconds. See how that we got a box going on there? And we're just going to repeat that process for 5 minutes. You can do it as long as you want to, but the whole point is just to close your eyes, lay down, no distractions, and just let the world and all your problems be erased. In that moment, you just focus on the breathing. And it's been used by fighters, military, to reduce stress, to let your nervous system come back to a normalized state after a heightened state of stress or training. Stress comes in so many different ways, and your body can recover and feel better afterwards. So box breathing is one, and then NSDR is the other one. And I got this from Dr. Andrew Huberman, who is just kind of blown up in this whole health world, his podcast and YouTube channel. If you go on his YouTube channel, and we'll throw the link in there, he has a 10-minute NSDR. It's a breathing technique where you just put in your earphones, find a spot. I like to sit in this chair right here. This is my office chair. This is, I can recline and relax, and you just listen and you do everything he says. And he's going to take you through a breathing sequence and a focus sequence. So he's going to tell you when to breathe, how long to breathe in, how long to breathe out, how to do it. And then he's also going to have you just focusing on parts of your body. So he's going to be telling you, right now, I want you to feel your shoulders relax and fall into the chair, and all of a sudden your whole body just starts to release. And you can, it's 10 minutes. And honestly, might be the best 10 minutes of your life as you relax. And he's got a very soothing voice. And then after that, your nervous system is just kind of reset. You're set, your heart rate's down, and your recovery day has just taken you to a whole different level. I guarantee you, you go through from just a couple of the steps of my 5-step process, and Friday's workout is going to be one of the best workouts you've had in a long time. And you do that consistently over months, and your body's going to recover better. You're going to get so much more out of your workouts, and just become the better athlete that you're looking to be, or the better person you're looking to be in this crazy and stressful world that we live in. We don't spend enough time focusing on our recovery and on ourselves, rather than just beating the crap out of ourselves in the gym. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Try all 5 steps, but I guarantee you'll get something good out of any one of those things. All right, so first things first is I always make sure that this door is closed so that people don't bother me. The thing about owning a gym that's awesome is people want to talk to you all the time. The thing that sucks about owning a gym is that people want to talk to you all the time. So I love the people here, and I love training people, and I love answering questions about fitness and nutrition, but sometimes you just need some alone time. So I got my barn doors here that my brother and Jacob installed for me. Close them up, turn the lights off, try to get in a dark as place as possible. I just lay right on the ground. If it's box breathing, if it's NSDR, I get in that chair there, and I like to be in the most comfortable position possible. So for some reason, this feels good to me with my hands on my chest. I close my eyes and I go through breathing in for 3 to 4 seconds. Hold 3 to 4 seconds. Breathing out for 3 to 4 seconds. Hold for 3 to 4 seconds. And then we just repeat this process. Okay, I'll fall asleep doing that right there. I could do that for a long time. It's nice. It's such a, honestly, I was only there for a minute or so, but you just start to relax and everything kind of fades out, and it's such a good feeling. If you've never tried that, you have to try it. Even if you just do that. If you're at your office and you can sneak away, or you can close your door and you can just take 5 minutes to release some tension and let everything come back down, and let all your sorrows go away for a second. It's a great feeling. So definitely give that a try. Again, we'll put a link for that NSDR from Dr. Huberman. It's amazing, 10 minutes, and you'll get so much out of that. So NSDR is non-sleep deep rest protocol.
A powerful tool that can allow you to control the relaxation state of your nervous system and your overall state of mind. It takes advantage of the fact that specific forms of breathing place us into a state of deep relaxation by slowing our heart rate down.
See, I could get into so that's the first minute or so he's explaining about it, but that's 3 minutes in or so. But it's easy, you think I've never meditated before. I do pray a lot, but I don't never gone through meditation. And I always thought like, oh, if I tried meditation, my mind would be racing everywhere. First time I did this for 10 minutes, and it was the easiest thing I ever did, but the most relaxed I felt in a long time. And his voice is honestly, because I listen to his podcast, I already feel like I know him. So it's very calming voice, and I trust what he's saying. So all of a sudden you're just focusing on your feet. And I'm like, oh, my feet are tingling. And like, any type of worry or other stress in your life is gone in that 10 minutes. And I've had clients of mine do it before sleeping, and they get the best sleeps of their lives. So again, we'll put the link for this, but it's amazing. And I think you should give it a try, and don't knock it till you try it. It sounds a little foofy or whatever, but it works. I promise you it works. And the science backs it up. So just give it a try.